Money, often seen as the root of all evil, is ironically also the means to all comfort. It is difficult to love money without the desire to possess it, so it is almost impossible to avoid relationships of dependence here. This dual nature of money paints a complex picture of our relationship with it. As humans, we are drawn to the allure of wealth, the promise of comfort and security it brings. But this very desire can lead us down a path of dependence, binding us in a seemingly unbreakable chain. Let's take a moment to consider the plight of those who earn little. A common mistake among this demographic is the constant lamentation of their financial scarcity. The energy they pour into their complaints, their frustrations, often aligns them with less prosperous paths in life. The focus on the lack rather than the potential is a trap that many unwittingly fall into. Our relationship with money is often a delicate balancing act. On one hand, we must strive for it to provide for our needs and desires. On the other hand, we must guard against allowing it to become the sole focus of our existence. It's a dance of desire and restraint, of ambition and contentment, but here lies a dangerous precipice. The desire for money, if not tempered, can give rise to fear. The fear of loss, the fear of not earning enough, the fear of falling into poverty. This fear, potent and consuming, can effectively steer us towards the very circumstances we seek to avoid. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where our fears dictate our reality. To navigate this intricate relationship with money, one must cultivate a balanced mindset. It's crucial to appreciate what we have, even as we strive for more. It's important to remember that while money can bring comfort, it can also bring fear, and this fear can be as debilitating as the lack of money itself. So, as we journey through life, let's strive to maintain a healthy perspective on wealth, understanding that it's a tool, not the goal. It's crucial to remember, however, that while money can bring comfort, it can also bring fear. Fear of loss, fear of not earning enough, fear of falling into poverty. Fear, as they say, is the most energy-intensive emotion. When it comes to our relationship with money, fear is often the driving force that propels us into a cycle of scarcity. It is especially dangerous to succumb to the fear that there is less and less money. Fear is the most energy-intensive emotion, therefore experiencing fear of losing or not earning money, you're in the most effective way moving yourself to the lines where there is really less and less money for you. If you are caught in this trap, it will be quite difficult to get out of it, but it is possible. To do this, it is necessary to eliminate the cause of the excess potential that you have created. The fear of losing money or the fear of not earning enough can effectively push us towards a life where there is really less and less money. This fear has a way of ensnaring us, trapping us in a cycle of constant worry and stress. And the reason for it is dependence on money or too strong a desire to have it. We start to see our bank accounts as ticking time bombs, ready to explode at any moment. We clutch at our paychecks like lifelines, terrified of what might happen if we let go. But what we often fail to realize is that this fear is not just a reaction to our financial situation, it's also a creator of it. When we live in constant fear of financial ruin, we're essentially programming our minds for failure. We're setting ourselves up for a life of lack, simply because that's what we're expecting. Escaping from this fear trap is no easy feat. It's like trying to climb out of a deep pit with slippery walls. Every time you think you've made progress, you find yourself slipping back down again. But despite the challenges, escape is possible. The key is to tackle the root cause of the fear. And in most cases, this cause is an overdependence on money or an overly strong desire to possess it. We've been conditioned to believe that money is the be-all and end-all of our existence, that without it, we're nothing. But this belief is what fuels our fear. It's what keeps us trapped in the cycle of scarcity. The key to breaking free is to eliminate the cause of the excess potential, which is an overdependence on money or an overly strong desire to possess it. We need to reframe our relationship with money to see it as a tool rather than a lifeline. To understand that while it can provide comfort and security, it's not the sole determinant of our happiness or success. By doing this, we can begin to dismantle the fear that keeps us trapped and step into a life of abundance and freedom. Contentment, it seems, is a virtue not easily mastered. Yet it stands tall as the first step towards overcoming the fear of losing money. It's not about abandoning ambition or curbing the desire for prosperity. Rather, it's about embracing a state of mind that finds peace in the present, appreciating the abundance that surrounds us, no matter how humble or grand. Contentment is the antidote to the relentless hunger for more. It's the quiet voice that whispers, "This is enough." It's the gentle nudge that reminds us to pause, to look around, to appreciate. It's the recognition that our worth isn't defined by our bank balance, but by the richness of our experiences, the depth of our relationships, and the strength of our character. Maintaining a balanced perspective on wealth is vital in this journey. It's about understanding that money, while important, isn't everything. It's a resource, an enabler, a tool, not the ultimate destination. It's the means to an end, not the end in itself. A balanced perspective allows us to see money for what it truly is, a facilitator, not the trophy. This perspective is a powerful antidote to the fear of loss, the dread of scarcity. It allows us to see beyond the numbers, to understand that our happiness, our fulfillment, our worth aren't tied to our financial status. It liberates us from the shackles of financial anxiety, freeing us to pursue our passions, to live our lives, to find our joy, irrespective of our bank balance. This perspective, this contentment, isn't about settling for less. It's about understanding that more isn't always better. It's about realizing that the pursuit of money, if unchecked, can lead us astray, away from our true path, our true purpose. So let us strive for contentment. Let us seek a balanced perspective. Let us remember that our worth isn't defined by our wealth. Let us remember that our happiness isn't tied to our financial status. And let us remember money is not the end goal, but merely a tool to help you achieve your goals. Many pendulums use money as a universal means of reckoning with adherence. Our world is like a grand cosmic dance, with pendulums swinging to and fro, dictating the rhythm of our lives. These pendulums, be they societal norms, institutions, or ideologies, often use money as a tool to exert control and influence. Imagine these pendulums like puppeteers, pulling the strings of our desires and fears, manipulating us with the allure of wealth and the fear of poverty. The more we dance to their tune, the more we become entrapped, the more we lose sight of our own rhythm, our own unique beat. This is how money becomes fetishized, transformed into a symbol of power and status, a measuring stick of success and worth. Money in the hands of these pendulums can become a dangerous diversion. It can lead us away from our true goals, our true happiness. We may find ourselves chasing after money, thinking it's the key to our dreams, when in reality it's just a detour, a diversion created by the pendulums to keep us dancing to their tune. The pendulums, in their relentless pursuit of their own interests, have propagated the myth that money is needed to achieve a goal, to fulfill a dream. This myth is so deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness that it has replaced our individual goals with an artificial substitute: money. When we think about our goals, we no longer think about what we truly want, what truly makes us happy. Instead, we think about money. We think about how to acquire more of it, how to keep it, how to spend it. We fall under the influence of a pendulum alien to us. We lose sight of our true desires, and we enter a fruitless race for money. It's crucial to remember, however, that while money can buy comfort, it can't buy happiness. To begin with, accept and be content with what you have. Remember, it could always be worse. You do not need to give up the desire to have money. You just need to be calm about the fact that they are not yet flowing to you like a river. To get into the position of a player who realizes that at any moment he can either get rich or lose everything. Many pendulums use money as a universal means of reckoning with adherence. It was the activity of the pendulums that led to the general fetishization of money. With the help of money, you can ensure your existence in the material world. Almost everything is sold and bought. All pendulums are paid off with money. Choose any. This is where the danger lies. Having fallen for the bait with false brilliance, it is very easy to turn to lines of life that are far from your happiness. Pendulums pursuing their own interests have created the myth that money is needed to achieve a goal. Thus, the goal of each individual person is replaced by an artificial substitute: money. Money can be obtained from different pendulums, so a person thinks not about the goal itself, but about money, and falls under the influence of a pendulum alien to him. A person ceases to understand what he really wants from life and enters a fruitless race for money. For pendulums, this state of affairs is very beneficial, and a person becomes dependent, loses his way, and beats like a fly against the glass. Working for a foreign pendulum, a person cannot get a lot of money since he serves a foreign goal. Very many are in this position. This is where the myth came from that wealth is the privilege of a minority. In fact, anyone can be rich if they are going towards their goal. Money is not a goal and not even a means to achieve it, but just an accompanying attribute. The goal is what a person wants from life. Here are some examples of goals. To live in your own house and grow roses. Travel the world, see distant countries, catch trout in Alaska. Go skiing in the Alps, raise horses on your own farm, enjoy life on your own island in the ocean, be a pop star, to paint pictures. It is clear that some goals can be achieved with a bag of money. Most people do this. They strive to get this bag. They think about money pushing the goal itself into the background. In accordance with the transurfing principle, they are trying to switch to lifelines where a bag awaits them. But working for a foreign pendulum, it is very difficult or even impossible to get a bag of money. So it turns out that there is neither money nor the goal is achieved. It cannot be otherwise because instead of the goal, the radiation of mental energy is tuned to an artificial substitute. If it seems to you that your goal can be realized only on condition that you are a rich person, send this condition to hell. Suppose your goal is to travel the world. Obviously, this requires a lot of money. To achieve your goal, think about the goal, not about wealth. Money will come by itself, as it is an accompanying attribute. It's that simple. Doesn't it sound incredible? However, this is true, and you will soon see it for yourself. Pendulums pursuing their own benefit turned everything upside down. It is not the goal that is achieved with the help of money, but money comes on the way to the goal. You now know how much influence pendulums have. This influence has given rise to many misconceptions and myths. Even now, reading these lines, you may object, but it is clear that first a person becomes a large industrialist or a banker or a movie star, and then a millionaire. True, but only those who thought not about wealth but about their goal became millionaires. Most people do the opposite. Either they serve someone else's goal, not their own, or they replace the goal with an artificial substitute, or they completely abandon their goal because of the impossible condition of being rich. In fact, there are no restrictions on wealth. You can want whatever you want. If this is really yours, you will get it. If the goal is imposed on you by the pendulum, you will achieve nothing. We will talk about goals in more detail later. Here I am running ahead, but there is no other way, because there is nothing to say about money in general. I repeat again, money is nothing more than an accompanying attribute on the way to the goal. Don't worry about them, they will come to you by themselves. Now the main thing is to reduce the importance of money to a minimum so that excess potentials are not created. Don't think about money, think only about what you want to get. At the same time, you need to be careful and respectful of money. If you see a small coin on the ground and you are too lazy to bend down for it, then you do not respect money. The pendulum of money is unlikely to be favorable to you if you are careless with money. I can advise one magic ritual. When you receive or count money, handle it with care, talk to it aloud or to yourself. You can say something like this: I love you, my little ones, my crispy pieces of paper, my ringing coins. Come to me, I'm waiting for you, I'm protecting you, I'm taking care of you. Don't laugh, love them seriously and sincerely. Greet them with love and attention and part with them carefree. This attitude does not create excess potentials and tunes the parameters of your radiation to money lines. You don't have to worry when you spend money. This is how they fulfill their mission. If you have decided to spend them, do not regret it. The desire to save money and spend as little as possible leads to the creation of a strong potential. In one place it accumulates and does not go anywhere. In this case, there is a high probability of losing everything. Money needs to be spent wisely so that there is movement. Where there is no movement, potential arises. Rich people are not for nothing involved in charity. This is how they reduce the excess potential of accumulated wealth. The pursuit of money, often mistaken as the pursuit of happiness. A common misperception, isn't it? But let's delve into it. There's a pervasive myth that money is needed to achieve a goal. This belief is so deeply ingrained in our societal fabric that many of us mistake it for an absolute truth. But consider this. When we focus on money as the means to our end, we often forget about the end itself. We lose sight of our actual goals, our true aspirations, and our genuine desires. Instead, we get trapped in a relentless cycle of acquisition, where money becomes the ultimate aim rather than a useful tool to achieve what we truly desire. Now, let's bring pendulums into the picture. In the context of our discussion, a pendulum is an entity or a concept that sways our thoughts, actions, and behaviors, often to its advantage. The myth of money, propagated by various pendulums, can lead us to fall under their influence, straying us away from our true path. A pendulum might be a societal expectation, a cultural norm, or a trend that equates success with material wealth. As we fall under their sway, we start to think not about our own goals, but about money. We start to chase the glittering illusion of wealth and success that these pendulums present to us. Before we know it, we are caught in a fruitless race for money, losing sight of what we really want from life. This is the danger of the myth of money. It can trick us into believing that the accumulation of wealth is the ultimate goal, the pinnacle of success. It can lead us to live lives that are far removed from our true selves, lives that are dictated by the whims of the pendulums that control us. Remember, the goal is not to earn money, but to lead a fulfilling and satisfying life. Money is a tool, a means to an end, but it is not the end itself. The real goal is to live a life that aligns with our true desires, a life that brings us genuine happiness and satisfaction. And that, my friends, is the true wealth we should all strive for.